Welcome to episode 4 of the Realist Critics. If you've seen episode 1, 2, or 3, you know what the game plan is, so we're not going to take up time. We're going to jump right into it. First topic on deck. Super Tuesday was this week, and it seems like absolutely nothing has changed for the Republican presidential candidates. Romney and Santorum, for the most part, split the majority of the delegates. I think Romney won 5 states, Santorum won 3, Gingrich won his much-needed Georgia primary. So the question I have is it time for a couple of these guys to go? And if so, who do you think it should be?
All of them.
That's what I was going to say.
You didn't mention Ron Paul. He did pretty well, too.
Yeah, well, you got to assume that Ron Paul is going to stay in it for the long run because they say he has the second best organized, campaign outside of Romney. Yeah, so he really doesn't have to win any state. He can still go all the way to Tampa.
I hope he does, too. I really do.
Just to make a point.
I don't like
here's my
politics
thing, man.
much, but...
Let's go back 3 years. All right? Mm-hmm. Imagine if Hillary would have won instead of Obama. Mm-hmm. What would have been different? We would have had Hillary care instead of Obamacare. So the way I look at it going forward, it doesn't matter if it's Gingrich, Romney, or Santorum, yeah. It really doesn't matter. It's all going to be the same outcome, and it's all bullshit. The only one who would be a game changer is Ron Paul, and the media is making absolute sure that he doesn't get a fair chance in the game.
Oh, yeah.
Which is why they're only covering, and that's kind of like us. All we're covering right now with this question is the 3 of them, but...
I think they should vanish. I don't care how.
I think they should all turn in their papers and leave the country.
I think Gingrich should go. I think Gingrich and Romney should go. You know what I mean? This should come down to Paul and Santorum.
You like Santorum?
I mean, of the 4, you know what I mean? I would have to say that I respect him more than Romney or Gingrich, just because he seems like a little bit more human. Ron Paul is a different person in and of himself, man. He's like
you mean
Ron
crazy?
Paul is like the truth.
Rick Santorum
exactly.
is crazy,
Ron Paul is the truth.
He's a wild
That's what we need.
The truth don't go for in politics. That's
why we need it. We need somebody who's not going to deal with the bullcrap drama and he said this, she said this, the lobbyists want this, you know?
The thing that scares me about Santorum is I could see him, like, after the first major crisis, going all, like, neo-Nazi Christian on everybody. You know what I mean? Like, completely, like nullifying all the civil rights and all that. Like, it's got to be his way or the highway. I can really see that happening.
Oh, yeah.
The other thing that worries me about him is he made a comment in one of the debates concerning this vote for the bridge to nowhere, that he was just going along with the team or something like that. So if he has people around him, kind of how George Bush did in his administration, then it seems like more than being a quote-unquote decider, he'll be, the follower.
Right,
exactly.
Instead of retarded, he'll be pretty crazy with it.
Yeah, so that's the only thing I worry about with you, Santorum, man. Are you a follower, man, or are you a leader? You have to lead the country if you want to be president.
And are you on medication? That's what I want to know. And what kind?
It's a fair question.
What would you call Obama, a follower or a leader?
Obama's one of these types of people where he'll just sit back and let all the chips fall where they may. So I can't really say if that's a follower or a leader. He will process all the information available and then make a decision.
See, I think he's a follower with a leader mentality.
I call him set up for failure, honestly. I mean, anybody who took that position after the Bush administration.
That's true.
But at
the same time, it's the same with the Bush.
Come on now, man. I mean,
because
the
Bush
world
took it after Clinton, and anyone after the Clinton administration was just doomed.
Mm-hmm.
That's
how it's been the past 4 presidents.
You know what a key trait of a leader is? Not blaming everybody else for your bullshit. Obama. Okay? Call it what you want.
I don't really see Obama blaming everybody as much as the people.
He always blames everybody. What are you talking about? He blames the Republican Party for... He blames the Senate. He blames
if we want to talk about blame, look at how much the Republican Party has blamed Obama is the Antichrist to the Republican Party. Everything is Obama's fault when it comes to that.
Yeah, but then talk to the Senate.
Breaks down as far as the past 2 years. If people, want to give those guys another chance, like Rand Paul or people like that, then maybe. But if they feel like they screwed up by the debt ceiling deal, then they might get the boot. But that's neither here nor there. Let's jump on to this prick. Rush Limbaugh, he actually had to apologize after he made some derogatory statements about a female student at Georgetown. All she did was spoke to Congress about, wanting I guess Obamacare to include contraception, and the guy essentially called her a slut.
Oh, he literally did. He called her a slut.
Yeah, so the question that I have is, what the hell is this guy's problem?
He's a douchebag.
What do you expect? Rush Limbaugh has a following, and he satisfies his following. You know what I mean? He's going to say something crazy, ignorant, derogatory towards somebody. So, I mean, that's what he do.
You know what I'm really sick of?
It's his business.
I'm sick of people saying things that they have a right to say and then apologizing for them as soon as they say them.
Yeah.
I'm so sick of all these apologies that they feel like they have to apologize.
It's so
Okay. I agree.
fake.
I'm going to say this. I will agree. If you say something you mean, you shouldn't have to apologize for it.
Yeah.
However, call a young girl a slut because she thinks that she shouldn't have to pay for contraception so that the population doesn't just keep escalating, he didn't have a right to call her a slut.
Again,
It's an opinion. He has a
I
right
don't
to an
care.
opinion.
Again,
That's
he
not-
knew before he
no.
said
the
that.
Constitution.
He knew before he said that he was going to make his listeners happy. He knew he was going to have to apologize afterward. It's his business. It's his business to say ignorant stuff and then apologize for it. He got to stay in business, you know what I mean? Period, point blank.
Well, if you want to stay in business, you shouldn't call her a slut to begin with.
No, his listeners like that because he got a lot of...
Now you know why I'm not a Rush Limbaugh listener.
And what about the First Amendment? Like, does that hold water? Can you they say you can't yell fire in a crowded theater, but can you basically demean everybody over the public airwaves and not have
hate
any
speech is protected under the
is that?
first. How is that retarded? It's not. It's not
Because
that.
if you
It's
call
not
me a slut,
nice.
I'm not going to be nice about it.
You don't gotta be nice
I want
about
an
it.
apology. Hell no.
I don't think old girl was being nice about it.
It's
She
not,
got him
it's
in.
not,
Well, yeah, the whole
It's
thing
costing
was
them
a
money.
political bullshit.
it's not a problem when your average Joe speaks
Exactly.
to the public and says what he feels. But when you got, like I said, it's business.
you're in
It's
the
about
public
business.
eye.
Rush Limbaugh works for somebody. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that executive came out like, look, you got to apologize. That's business. That's his business.
Now, what about the?
we can say what we want to say. But when you got to be and you being paid
Yeah.
to, satisfy people, you got to come out there and apologize.
What about the rest of the Republican candidates party? They kind of tried to sidestep the question when it was posed to them. Like, it's kind of common knowledge that a lot of Republicans are scared to stand up to Rush Limbaugh. They gave Mitt Romney the bulk of the heat, of course, because he's the front runner. But what's up with that? Why would a Republican, let's say a moderate Republican, not have a problem with far-right Republicans saying something insane or insensitive?
Because they don't want to touch the topic. They won't want to touch it with a 10-foot pole.
Again.
They don't want to involve themselves because of business, because of politics.
The listeners, you know what I'm saying? The majority of Limbaugh's listeners are Republicans. They might be far-right Republicans, but they're Republicans, so no, they don't want to touch it.
Exactly. It's
They
easier to
messing up votes.
sidestep it than it is to, because if you say one way or another, if you say against the Republican Party, then it's going to hurt your chances. But if you agree with what he said, then you're going to hurt your chances of getting any kind of election, the election you want.
Gingrich, he handled it pretty well. And I think that the media blew it out of proportion, personally. It's one guy with an opinion. They try to blame this one. Here's my problem with what the media did, okay? The media tried to act like this guy was a spokesman for the whole Republican Party. So, like, if this guy said it, every Republican has to feel like this, and Republicans are evil. That's a complete, that is the spin that the media put on it. It's one guy with an opinion, and that's what Gingrich said, and I really liked his response on the whole thing.
I agree. I don't think that all the Republicans feel the same way. I think
It was
that
a smear
he
campaign.
is a douchebag for saying this thing, but I don't think all the rest of the Republicans are. I just think that they're pussies because they don't want to say anything for or against it.
Stand up to Rush
They gotta be
Limbaugh,
both.
Mitt.
Exactly.
Stand up to Rush Limbaugh, Rick.
They being smart.
Didn't John McCain get on his head, I believe? I'm not sure. I know he got on somebody's head about something in the Republican Party.
Who want to listen to
McCain.
what John McCain got to say?
I mean, he's been around for forever, man. The guy got to know a little bit of something. You don't live for 85, 90,000 years without picking up a clue here and there. Let's jump on to these. Right, let's jump on to this Iran deal, man. Back to Iran. Now they're saying that Iran is going to consider allowing the nuclear inspectors into the site that's been the center of the nuclear weapon controversy to show that they don't intend to develop nukes, a.k.a. they've transferred all the material to another location. The question that I have is, what is behind this new change of attitude? Is it just a setup to kind of pull Israel and the United States into a further, escalation of war with these guys?
It's hard to tell, man. You don't really know what's going on with this whole deal. I mean, we're hearing one side of the news. We don't really. I mean, there are certain steps that the UN is supposed to take that I know they weren't really taking it, and they're trying to spin it to where Iran was the one not. The one that was being, they were being difficult. Really, it was the UN that weren't taking the proper steps. They didn't have the right personnel and all that other stuff.
I can see that.
Who really knows what's going to happen as far as all this? I know that Israel is gonna strike eventually. It's just a matter of when. And
now it's been said that Israel really doesn't have the capacity to wipe out or dismantle, or however you want to call it, the Iranian nuclear power program. They're basically going to have to get backed up by the United States one way or another. It's like
it does right now, but the further along it gets, it won't. And that's why it's a big deal. It's like Obama says, wait until this step, but they can't defend themselves accurately after this step.
Yeah.
So, and they're saying, as soon as we are worried about defending ourselves, we're going to attack. We're not going to let them get bigger than we can handle, counting on the U.S.
Now Israel's saying that they're going to postpone, really deciding to do anything about this until the election. What are they banking on? Are they banking on Obama to get reelected and have a change of heart and let them do what they want? Or are they banking on him not making it another term?
I just want somebody to shoot somebody. Sometime soon, man. I'm so tired of talking about Iran. If I hear about Iran one more time, I'm converting to Islam, man. It's some bullcrap. Move on to some more news.
I'm cool. I'm cool on the Islam, man. That religion is way too complicated for me. How about go to church on Sunday? How about that? You know what I mean? Not all this praying 30,000 times a day. My goodness.
So what are you trying to say, that Christians are lazy?
No, I'm trying to say that the Muslim religion is a little bit more difficult than Christianity.
Thanks, Kyrie. Appreciate that.
I mean, I saw something where a guy, and this is in a Muslim country, he was saying something about, I did this or something happened, and the guy he was talking to was like, swear to God. And he was like, dude, I swear to God. And that was good enough for them. He was like, well, God got to deal with it. It's like they don't play around. Over here, you can kill 20 people and confess to the father in your church, and it's like, okay, new start.
That's not necessarily right, man. It's not cool.
Not talk about religion, shall we?
Yeah, we're gonna keep that for another episode going forward.
You can convert to Islam if you want to.
Now, it's come to my attention that in St. Louis they're having, and I believe it's in the state Supreme Court, is the Missouri
I believe
State
it's the
Supreme
state.
Court. They're having an issue or a case that they're discussing. It's Turner versus the Clayton School District, where essentially, I believe it was a young lady who was a member of the city school district. School lost their accreditation just because it was a messed up place, and in turn they wanted to go to Clayton School, and I believe the issue was they expected the previous school district of St. Louis City to pay for, tuition costs, transportation, things of this nature. So the question I have is, if you go to a jacked up school that has lost its accreditation, should the kids be able to transfer to different schools? And if so, who should pay for it?
I think they absolutely should. You go to school, especially public school, you go to school expecting to get the education you need. And the school is unaccredited, which means no matter how you spin it, they aren't getting that. And so it's only natural for them to want to go to a school where they will get that, because, obviously if they're wanting to go to an accredited school, they care about their education. So I think it's up to the public school district to pay for it, because they're the ones that are causing them to have to move.
Now, what about the, let's say you were in a public school district that lost its accreditation, and all the students, decided to go to a different school that still had its accreditation. If the public school had to pay for it, wouldn't it essentially bankrupt
it? It would. But that's basically its choices. Get bankrupt or get their crap together and get accredited again. And they haven't done that so far, so...
Get the government out of schools.
Now, if you get the government out, exactly.
Honestly, I believe to avoid people having to spend extra money, to avoid children having to get bused. Everybody can't get bused out to a school outside of their district. It needs to be some kind of
sanction.
Yeah, some kind of unification would probably be a better word for, for the St. Louis public school districts to at least attempt to have the same curriculum as You know, the good Clayton School District, Parkway School District, Ladue School District. You know, some similar. That way, at least the kids have an opportunity to learn what they need to be learning. You know what I mean?
Even if it doesn't get its accreditation back, as long as they learn that same curriculum, which they should, thereby get that.
If they learn the curriculum.
Even if they don't, as long as they learn the curriculum, they're still getting what they need.
Exactly.
And then they don't have to move. But as it stands now, I mean, half the kids are going to school and just sitting there.
Half the kids don't go to school.
Exactly. So that's what I'm saying. What's the point if you're not getting the education you need?
Yeah, and education is the key to everything.
Exactly. Which is why we're all here.
All right, this is we're going to do. Take a little sidestep. Leon Panetta, Secretary of Defense, made a statement earlier this week saying that basically Americans have gotten too fat to sufficiently, prop up the military. They're saying that they're having a hard time finding people to fill their ranks because everybody is obese. What's up with that?
Oh. That goes back to our old Christian way of living. Eat bacon and pork chops and it's America, man. It's a fat country.
That's crap. That is absolute crap. There's plenty of people to have to fill the American ranks, soldiers.
I believe so.
People don't want to join the military because of all the shit that's going on, all the bull crap. The reason you don't want to work in the military when you don't trust the government. And I mean, nobody trusts Congress. 50% people like the president, but those are 50% of the pussies. No, they don't want to go.
Hold on, man.
Really?
Nah, right. Nah. If you like the president, you are not a pussy. You're
a pimp.
Right.
No,
go ahead, man.
My point is that the people don't want to. There's a lot of reasons people want to join the military. It's not because all of Americans are fat. I mean, that's a bullshit excuse.
There's a lot of heavy people here, though. We must admit.
But at the same time, like, if I wanted to join the military, they wouldn't let me because I have asthma that's highly controlled with an inhaler, which is stupid. But because of health conditions, I can't. Even if I wanted to, which I'd be good at it.
People don't want to join the military because they high. And when they get high, they like to eat. And when
I guess the question I have...
the opposite, though. I don't like eating when I'm hot.
Hi.
Oh, hi. Woo,
the question I have is how the hell can we plot, intervening in, Syria and doing this in Iraq and if the world perceives our population as just being a bunch of fat asses, how does that work?
Trick. That's what they think.
That's the setup. We gonna send them Detroit boys after them or something, or you know what I'm saying? Them Midwestern corn-fed cowboys.
A lot of militias in Montana.
Yeah, I think the United States should now be called McDonald's land.
Wow, not good.
It is.
It is though.
With China making the come
I think it's good, but.
Get it together, fat people.
I want to know what happened to Snooki. When we going to talk about Snooki?
We're going to get to Snooki, man. And before we get to Snooki, let's go and get on Peyton Manning getting kicked out of Indianapolis. You notice he was released, which means he was fired. This guy has ran that team for forever. The question I have, despite them getting the #1 draft pick next year, Andrew Luck, does this mean that the Indianapolis Colts are going to go by the way of the Chicago Bulls after Michael Jordan left, in the sense that it took them years and years and years just to get back into the playoffs?
Yeah, it's still not the same team it was.
Exactly.
I think if they have that mindset, then yeah.
It's not about the mindset, man. Yeah. The Colts are gutted.
Yeah, Peyton controlled the team.
Well, it's not just Peyton that left, though. I mean, it's not the same team it was when it was winning Super Bowls.
You're not a good team if you can't survive without your leader.
Well, I mean, one man can make or break a team. It happens all the time.
Yeah, but it shouldn't.
It's more players on the football team than the basketball team, but that dude definitely controlled every aspect of the Colts game. I don't think it's going to take them as
long to get back in the playoffs. They'll get it.
They're strong.
They'll get it together.
Not as strong.
They might not, win a Super Bowl anytime soon, but it's Indianapolis, you know what I mean?
You think he's going to keep his residence there, or you think he's just going to pack up and...
He'll move. He might keep a house, but he'll move. Nah,
man, cut that. We don't have clearance for that video, man. Cut that. I don't want to hear from ESPN, bro. My apologies.
It's on YouTube.
All right.
The world can hear it.
New topic. On to my homegirl Snooki. I say that...
What?
Yeah, exactly. I'll say that with all cynicism. Look like your girl Snooki got knocked up and is said to be getting married to the father of the baby. So the question I have is very simple. Is this a real deal or is it a publicity stunt?
I'm just going to throw one name out there. Kim Kardashian. That's
Same
what
deal?
I see happening. Yeah, they're going to be a big wedding on TV.
Do not televise Snooki's wedding. It won't work out.
Don't nobody want to see no Guidos fist bumping at a wedding.
That's a derogative term. Let's say Italian Americans.
I think we should leave Snooki alone, man. Let her have a baby and maybe have a happy family.
I think if she really does that, cool. But if it's all for publicity, then go to her.
It may be, but give her a chance. Go ahead, Snooki. Have your baby.
Enjoy.
Any comment, Rebel?
I got nothing to say about that, dude.
He on my Jersey Shore.
Hey. Well, I mean, she's supposed to be doing another show. Her and one of those other girls got a spinoff, so hopefully everything works out for you, Snooki. Stop drinking first and foremost.
At least while you're pregnant.
Yeah, at least while you're pregnant. Yeah. Other than that, good luck. Anything anybody want to put out there before we?
Yeah, I'd hate to be that kid.
Yeah.
Imagine being
Peyton
a kid.
Manning's press conference when he was playing. That's what I want to put out there.
I will say, I saw on Twitter that the baby daddy said something about the nickname, the Jersey Shore nickname for the baby was going to be like short and tan or something like that. I'm like,
Destin,
you're just setting this baby
Dude,
up.
But see, that's like young dumb adults talking before the baby comes.
I'm
Once
just
that baby
saying.
get here, they're gonna be like, just show me where some damn milk and diapers is at.
Would you want to be Snooki's kid? I couldn't imagine coming.
Man, you gotta
Be her
think.
friend,
You gotta think.
tell you
Snooki
what,
is a
I
millionaire.
was
She's
just gonna say,
she's got paper now, so
that baby gonna be paid.
You know what I
At
mean?
least it'd be like, yeah, my mama's stupid, but she
Right.
got me
But
money.
she's cashed
Oh my
out.
God.
I
And
get
you know what?
Cambodian breast
That
milk
is what's
every day,
wrong.
straight from Cambodia, the real son.
All righty, well, on that note, let's go ahead and wind it down. This is have been episode 4 of The Realest Critics. You can hit us up at Facebook at The Realest Critics, Twitter at The Realest Critics, YouTube at The Realest Critics. I think I'll edit that part out. YouTube at The Realest Critics, Tumblr at The Realest Critics. Our video goes up every week. You can check it out. It's usually The Realest Critics episode and then fill in the blank, or you can just go to our channel at The Realest Critics SCC. So any closing arguments? Cut off that damn Peyton Manning crying. If you have any stories out there that you want us to criticize, hit us up where we can in following episodes. I do want to say really briefly, can you kill that, bro?
You just have to hear him cry.
In a more moment of solace, my rest in peace, my uncle Steve Reddy passed away earlier this week. He was official due. To simplify for everybody, the people you look up to me. I looked up to him. So that should pretty much solidify his position. You will be missed. Other than that, stay out of trouble, America and the world. Be easy. See you next time.